Okay, so if you've been following the channel, you'll know I recently picked up a Tsuyosa, and I like it, and I've felt something wearing it, but I've just not gelled with it on the day-to-day. And if you didn't know that, do make sure to like and subscribe. So, not keen to give up on the integrated bracelet sports watch, I've been looking to swap it out for something else. So, my brain went to the Tissot PRX. It's the logical rival. I've had one before and I liked it, just not the butterfly clasp. I prefer a deployant, although I must admit, they're not the sleekest. But the PRX, it doesn't feel special, it's obvious, dare I say even boring, and maybe not great for content, which with this whole channel is a concern when buying watches now. So, like all watch people, I did what I do best, have far too many tabs open in eBay and Chrono24 and get to some negotiating. And my travels led me to realise something. Seiko don't have a major PRX rival these days. Now your normal watch fans will be able to point you to a range of sub £1,000 watches from Seiko. If you want a similarly priced chronograph to the PRX, there's the Prospex Solar Timer in all its colours and both smaller and larger size. A dress watch, you've got the Presage lineup, and divers, of course the Willard and countless others. When researching this video, I discovered this watch, the Seiko SUR 577P1, a 34mm integrated bracelet quartz piece for about £200 or $300. But let's pretend that doesn't exist, it ruins the punch of the watch I've bought and derails the video a little bit. But an integrated bracelet automatic Seiko in a size most men would wear for under £1,000, yeah, it's not on the market these days. Now that could be because people often criticise Seiko's bracelets, so they've just not bothered to make one of these pieces, but maybe that's a video for another day. Today we're looking at what happened when Seiko did make a PRX though, and I'm not talking about anything from Creedor, either new or old. Again, that might be a video for another day. But this cheap quartz Seiko, a reference 5H236270. Now this is not Seiko's only integrated bracelet watch in their back catalogue. Dig through eBay and you'll find a handful of ancient and unknown references, but this is the one that spoke to me and was the first to accept my offer. Unlike a lot of watches I've owned, this was a cheap eBay find. Now the images were a bit crap, the watch clearly a little dirty, but I thought it's a quartz Seiko, it'll probably be fine. And you know what? I'm absolutely delighted. The 5H23 part of the reference number tells us the movement, a slim 2.3mm 3-jewel quartz piece, and probably dating the watch to the mid-1980s to early 1990s from what I can tell online. Now the case is 32mm wide, so it's slim, but as we all know, smaller watches are in right now, and an integrated bracelet watch's perceived extended lug width makes the watch seem that little bit bigger. The actual lug to lug on this is about 38mm, but if you include some of that first link in the measurement as well, it's even larger. I have a 6.5 to 6.75 inch wrist, and as you can tell, it's a petite watch, but I wouldn't say it's too small for me. Your perception may be different, and that is okay. I'd call this dainty, but perhaps not subtle. After all, it carries that gold tone. But that's not why I'm delighted with this watch. If you look at this bracelet, what does this bring to mind? Well, to me, it's the Vacheron Constantin 222. There's something in the links, and that's interesting. It makes it more interesting than the admittedly lovely but perhaps visually dull PRX's flat link design. This cute Seiko also happens to have a range of nice little touches as well. A day indicator, a date indicator that you set by turning the crown in different directions. Fiddly, but it works. Although I think it's saying 12 noon is 12 midnight, a teething issue perhaps. The dial has a little brushed quality to it. The bezel has these minimal but completely unnecessary Roman numerals as well. And of course, the bracelet catches the light amazingly, and it should be said, to touch, it's clearly an old Seiko SQ, both bracelet and clasp. However, on the wrist it's light, comfortable, flexible, and I've had no issue with it and my wrist hair. A Patek Philippe this is not, but I wouldn't call it bad by any means. Now here is the kicker. I got this for £40. Now you could make the argument this is extortion. Quite frankly, I don't care and you don't have the data to make that argument anyway. as I can't find another one of these for sale anywhere. There's been eBay auctions in the past, but this was and is a bit of a rarity. Annoyingly, I can find no real information on this watch. The joy of niche old Seikos. I think that's why I think I may have found my integrated bracelet watch for now. Until I manage to sell my business, win a frivolous lawsuit, or get lucky in the lottery that I don't play. I think if I were to take this to a red bar or a watch meetup, I think this might spark a little more interest than your Citizen Tsuyosa, Tissot PRX, Yema Urban Traveller, or even Benjamin James Scarif 4, because it feels a little bit more unique and different. I don't think I've ever had that sort of value or experience from such a cheap and affordable watch. In a way, I can forgive the shortcomings of this watch, which of course it has because it's a cheap, old Seiko quartz piece. Because of this experience and feeling of uniqueness, I can cut it some slack. The watches we tend to buy are the mainstream, the known, and as a result, not the ones that other watch people and yourself ultimately find interesting. A Tissot PRX is a great watch, but it's not interesting. We can say the same for the Rolex Submariner. It is great, but it is boring. The Omega Speedmaster, perfect, stunning, almost always found on the wrist of a fellow nerd, but not interesting to other watch people, although maybe perhaps for the first few times you see one. But you're not running over to start a conversation with the guy or gal wearing a PRX, Sub or Speedy in the wild or at a watch event, even though these are the watches you probably should actually be buying and will find more fulfilling. Not the weird and wonderful things, even when they're as cheap as this. But maybe you should buy the weird thing every now and then. Because I tell you what, the past week or so that I've been wearing this, I have been living my best life. It's been summer, there's been a bit of a heat wave in the UK, and I'm out wearing my favourite Dickie Greenleaf and John F. Kennedy inspired beach outfits, and this feels right on my wrist. Whether that's sat reading in the garden with a drink in my hand or cooking with some jazz on. God, I sound pretentious, but isn't that what this channel is all about? Go buy that weird cheap Seiko you like. Live your life. Well, I hope you found something interesting in this video. Thanks for watching. If you like my work, do please like and subscribe. If you want to help me out, do please also consider becoming a channel member. There are a few perks. I will see you next time. Bye bye.